Hello, welcome to our final part of our series on love and lovability, about the virtues of a good friendship. We looked last time about the fact that all friendship is mutual, but that we can do things to make ourselves more amiable, to make the person who's committed themselves to us in one way or another, to make it an easier task for them being with us, of loving us. I'd like to suggest an analogy with a room, and to look at ourselves, compare ourselves with a room, and the kind of things that make it pleasant to be in a room also apply to us, are pleasant or not pleasant. And I think there's 4 qualities that would belong, I think, to any room that is pleasant to spend time in, and that these we can carry these qualities over into the human realm. And the very first one, and I'm thinking now of a room that I like a lot and that I can spend a lot of time in, and it's got these 4 qualities. And the first quality then is the decor, just very superficial. The paint on the wall, the flooring, the furniture, the color scheme, basically that, literally the surface, the superficial things. And in this room that I was thinking of, it's very attractive, it's very clean, it's nice to be in. And that also carries across with people. Even though, again, it's by definition superficial, it is actually not unimportant for that reason. So, appearance, looking after personal hygiene, dressing nicely, doesn't mean that we have to dress up to the nines every day, but that we were turned out kind of pleasantly. Then our manners, etiquette, demeanor, all these things, which again, very superficial, but they are like the decor of a room. And it is easier to be in a room that's elegant and pleasant and clean. And likewise, it is easier to be with a person who looks after their appearance, looks after their good manners, avoiding vulgar language, this kind of thing. They're easier to be with. That's the first thing. Second thing about this room, again, this room that my ideal room, is that the sun shines in. This is a nice big window, and on a sunny day, the room is filled with sunlight, and it gets the best of any light that's going. And again, the same applies to people. And we do use that word. We talk about a sunny person, a person with a sunny disposition, cheerful, not overly serious. It can be chirpy, especially when it's needed, and so on. And that's the opposite to a kind of where the curtains would be drawn and the room is bathed in gloomy twilight. And that is, well, if we become morose, grumpy, flee from conversation, excessively serious, nagging, sad. And that's where the sunlight is switched off. And again, that just makes it harder. And therefore, one of the virtues that we have to work on and to be likable, amiable, is that sunniness, that overcoming any moroseness or gloominess or grumpiness. The third quality, rather, is affection. Affection is love manifested. It's no good between friends to love them but not manifest it. It has to be manifested, it has to be shown, and that we call affection. An affectionate person is a person who manifests their love. And what corresponds in the room for this is warmth. A room could be sunny, but actually freezing cold. The window's wide open or whatever. And it's very hard to be in a room, even when it's sunny, even when it's got a nice decor, but it's freezing. And likewise, it's hard to be a person who never manifests their love, who's not affectionate. And so we have to manifest this love, and this applies in particular to spouses. We think of the things that they did to show their love at the beginning when dating shouldn't diminish just because they got married or they've been years married. There's that maybe famous joke about the wife complaining to her husband, John, "You never tell me that you love me." And he replied to her, "Mary, when we got married 25 years ago, I told you that I loved you. If anything changes, I will let you know." So obviously in that case, this guy is not very affectionate. And the wife legitimately is looking for expressions of love. Say that you love me. Do things. Give me flowers. And again, just between friends, colleagues, and so on, we should also be affectionate, warm. The final fourth characteristic about, again, this ideal room is that it has got a good bookshelf, or on the coffee table there's these interesting magazines or coffee table books. There's something to read and pass the time in that room. And so it's kind of basically interesting, entertaining. And so the same quality applies with our friends, again, in a particular way, with a spouse. That we have to look for things that are enjoyable, that passing time there, spending time, like in that room, again, maybe warm, maybe sunny, maybe nice decor. But the kind of, the icing on the cake is that it's also very interesting. That the person, they share interests, very important thing. Aristotle says that men, he says, cannot associate with one another unless they are pleasant, that's the sunny and warm, and rejoice in the same things, share interests. And you see so often friendships flourish around a hobby, shared interest in sharing a common football team that we're fans of, this kind of thing. But that's the books, or the coffee table magazines or whatever, interesting. So these are the four qualities of the good room, and the four qualities of the person who is amiable, lovable. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.